Derek, I suppose let's just start with your team news. How are things shaping up for tomorrow night?
Yeah, fine. We've obviously we one or two knocks from the weekend, and but hopeful they'll all be okay. And we've left obviously Ryan Edmondson, Sam Cosgrove, Mikey Devlin back. We're conscious as well with the squad that we had we're only allowed 7 subs, and we've been working with a squad at 22 really, and going through the games domestically the last few weeks. And it's a long way to come to be sitting in the stand for some of the lads, but obviously with the uncertainty still with the test results, we need to make sure we've got the bodies here in case we have to turn to them, you know. So we're in good spirits. We're looking forward to the game. Obviously, we'll get the test results tomorrow morning, but it still doesn't impact on us training tonight. And we'll get trained tonight, get a handle the surface, get the journey out of our legs, and prepare as normal for the game.
I mean, I take it in terms of the test results. You know, as things stand, you guys, I assume, have got a clean bill of health on that front, but you're just waiting the results of the tests since you arrived in Norway. Is that how it all works?
Yeah, we had the UEFA testing on Monday at the training ground. So we had that, but obviously we have to then be retested again once we land in Norway. So once we landed here, we get tested within an hour or so, just straight into the hotel, and we get tested right away. So everybody who travelled from AFC get tested, and those results is the ones we're waiting on to allow us to play the game. But we've got permission to obviously train.
It's just that serves to highlight the strange times that we're having to operate in, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you know, we knew this was happening. We considered coming out last night, so that we would maybe get tested quicker, and then therefore less anxiety on the match day about testing. But you know, we left a bit earlier than we normally would this morning. So financially, it's better to do it that way, and we still feel well within the time frames of being able to prepare as normal for the game.
Just in terms of Viking, what kind of challenge are they going to pose you?
A tough game. You know, I've seen them play extremely well in certain games. You know, obviously they've not maybe been as consistent as they would like this season, but their recent run of form's been a bit, I would say, a bit more healthier for them. You know, they're obviously sitting 8th in the league at the minute, and they've got some good players. They certainly know how to score goals. They've got a good attacking threat, and you know, good level of experience throughout their team, as well as 2 or 3 younger lads who, you know, get potential. So, you know, I think they play 4-3-3, quite expansive, and like I say, like the threats at the top end of the pitch are clear and obvious, and we need to be aware of that. They normally score goals. They're a team who back themselves, and they've got that capability. But hopefully, as I say, we can be good enough, perform good enough tomorrow to get the desired result.
You've obviously done your own homework. Obviously, it wasn't that long ago since Ronnie Hernandez was playing over in Norway himself. I mean, has he provided any little nuggets of inside information that have helped you do your homework as well?
Nothing.
Oh, sorry, Derek, we lost you there. I'll ask that question again, if I may. It just all went silent. Yeah, obviously you've done your own homework on Viking, but I guess to add to that, Ronnie Hernandez, it's not that long ago since he was playing over there. I mean, has he provided you with any little nuggets of inside information that have helped as well?
Initially, when the draw was made, I spoke to him about the surface, the stadium, the system, one or two players. Managed to get a good handle on the team ourselves. So sometimes conversation to Ronnie, reinforcing a lot of what we think, really. Nothing that we weren't aware of, really, but maybe just reinforcing the strengths and capabilities of this team.
Just a final one from me. Obviously, it's a huge prize awaiting the winners, the glamour tie with Sporting Lisbon. I guess the message to your players is just forget about that and concentrate on getting the job done tomorrow night. Yeah,
I think we've got to mention though. It's no every year in your career that you get a chance to take on Sporting Lisbon. You know, I think it's I think it's a real prize for both teams to get themselves through, and I want to experience it as a manager. I want my players to play against a good side like them and that sort of environment. So absolutely, it will be mentioned, but clearly the job on hand is tomorrow night, and we've always dealt with these games pretty well. The focus from the team, I think, and I think the fact that the team's playing well, we've got a good squad to choose from. Will serve us in good stead for the game tomorrow, because it will be a tough game, a competitive game, but that motivation is clear for both teams, to get through and take on a club like Sporting Lisbon. So it will be mentioned, but it's the focus will be on the game.
Thank you,
Derek. You've obviously spoken earlier on this season just about the difficulties you face, whether it be injuries or the other COVID stuff, but in terms of how the team's sitting now, 5 straight wins, confidence high. I mean, you can't be sort of much better placed going into a fixture like this than you are right now.
Yeah, I think you have to work hard to get on this type of run, and I think once you're on it, it's important that you try and remind the players exactly what it's took to get here. And there's been loads of hard work. Strength in the squad. We're carrying a goal threat. We've been pretty miserly at the other end, and that has to continue, especially tomorrow night. Having only conceded a couple of goals this season, so that's gave us a platform, and we know we've got good players to come back as well. So, and at the top end of the pitch, well, we've not had a regular goal scorer at number 9. I think even the performance of Marley Watkins has allowed others to contribute, as well. So, getting Curtis back up to speed and get the 2 boys at the top end of the pitch, I think will make us give us more options and give us maybe more added goal threat. But behind all of that, the run that we're on, there's no doubt that the players are working extremely hard. They've played with a point to prove. They've obviously missed their football, and now we've managed to get a bit of strength in the legs, a bit of rhythm. I think we're seeing the results that we're all looking for, and we want to keep that going. We don't want to be content with a lot. We want to just keep driving on and keep getting that winning feeling, and that's what tomorrow night gives us, that opportunity to try and do that again.
You must be really pleased with the sort of strength of character the boys have shown. I suppose when you've had the difficulties you've had, it be easy to use that as an excuse and feel sorry for yourself. But the boys, they've went the other way. They've used it as fuel to sort of light their fire, and they're growing from strength to strength.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we waited a long time to get back to training. We waited a long time to even know there was going to be any sort of football. And then when it came round, it was everything that we didn't want. We lose our opening game. We have the fallout from all the bans and COVID stuff we had to contend with. But if it was important, we all stayed calm. But we had to just deal with what was in front of us, and that was just deal with the games. And by winning games and putting in strong performances, we're now getting asked. We've been on here 10 minutes, and everything's been about football and talking about my team, and that's what we wanted it to be. But everybody's had to work hard with that, and the players deserve a lot of credit for their focus to shut all that out and just concentrate on the job in hand.
You've obviously been over the course with these qualifiers over the last 5-6 years. How crucial do you think that experience that you've built up over the last few years will be towards going into tomorrow night's game?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of players that have came with us along the way. There's some lads who have just been making their European debuts this season, and so. But I do think as a club and as a team, we're experienced enough as a staff to deal with the game. But we also know that despite any experience, it comes down to performance, and we know how to prepare. We feel we've got a good handle on the opponent, and it's up to us to do the job on the night. And to do that, we're going to have to play well individually and make sure that we stop their better players having an effect on the game. But also go and ask the question of them. It's a one-off game. We don't need to think too much about it tactically in terms of a two-legged affair and try to be too clever on that front. It's cup football. We go and try and get the job done, and we're either in Europe after tomorrow, or we're out Europe, and we know where we want to be.
Cheers, Derek.
Cheers. All right.
Dave, thanks for that. This stuff, Derek. It was just a quick one. your goals against column's been very sparse. Their weakness does seem to be at the back. They've conceded quite a few. Is that something that gives you a wee bit of hope, particularly as this game's away from home?
Yeah, I think there's a trade-off with teams who are quite expansive, and I think you're right to mention they can concede goals, can leave themselves a bit open at times, but they can also score goals, and there's a trade-off. I think they've scored more goals than they've conceded in the last 10 games or so. So, so they are a team who open up to play. Whether it'll be that team tomorrow, who knows? But they certainly have an attacking threat, and they do all they can to support that attacking threat. And their front players can be lively and dangerous, and will certainly need to be looked after. But we feel as if we've got an attacking threat ourselves at the minute, and it's important that we try and show that side of us tomorrow night.
Just a quick one from me. You've mentioned potentially a couple of the younger players going out on loan still. Are any of those deals any closer, or any idea of who those players might be?
Nothing definite yet. We're making a few phone calls. We want to try and get them to the right club as well. So again, a lot of the lower league clubs are just working their way back at the minute, and I think that their need for players will start to increase over the next couple of weeks. And but we're looking to try and get a couple of 2 or 3 more younger boys out to get some game time. And it's a fine balancing act where we're still in Europe, and at the minute we've got a clean bill of health, or certainly health than what it was in terms of injuries. All these things have got to be right for us before we let anybody out to get the games. But we see the benefit of getting some of the younger lads the yards, doing their time, and getting out there into the real world and playing football. Because obviously domestically this season, the Development League it's going to be impacted, and how many teams are going to be there, and the fixtures just might not be there for a lot of our lads. So there's an added incentive from our point of view to go and get them playing football. There's some boys at our club at the minute who have been training now for best part of 3 months and not played a proper game of football yet, other than bounce games at training. So we're aware of that as well, and we need to look after their development. Okay.
That's it. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Derek. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, lads.